Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be talking about my personal experiences over at Heroes and Villains FanFest in London this year and my amazing time I had there. So let's discuss. So I was plugging it at the end of every single one of my videos that I was going to be attending Heroes and Villains FanFest London 2018 on the Saturday the 26th of May, and that was very much true. I was there on the Saturday all day from as soon as it opened till pretty much as soon as it closed, and what a time I had. I mean, I've never really been to a convention before. I'd certainly never been to Heroes and Villains before. I really wanted to go last year, but I didn't quite make it. But I was able to go this year, and it's just been, honestly, the greatest experience of my entire life. Being such a huge fan of these shows, and them meaning as much to me as they do, this was just a real touching weekend, and something that I will never ever forget. So I'll start off with kind of the things that you guys will care about the most, which is the Arrow panel. Now, unfortunately with the Arrow panel, and it's the same with all the panels of all the shows, technically here in the UK, the finales for these shows, and in this case Arrow's finale, has not actually aired yet. So, you know, as far as when it's aired here in the UK, I don't think it's aired till next week. So unfortunately, there was kind of not really a lot they could say because they didn't really want to spoil anything, because technically they weren't allowed to, even though everyone in that room had seen the finale, due to the fact that we don't stick to the rules here in the UK when it comes to these shows, because we can't. And it was a bit annoying in that regard, but we did find out some stuff, like, for example, the entire cast. I mean, it was David Ramsey, Emily Bett Rickards, and Juliana Harkavy. They were really praising Beth Schwartz as the new showrunner of Arrow. They were saying that she is so good, and everything that comes good out of the show comes from her, and they were kind of almost throwing shade at Mark Guggenheim and Wendy Mericle. But I mean, this does give me hope that perhaps Beth Schwartz is a really good move for this show, and I think it is a positive step. I'm not 100% sold on her yet just because of her writing, but who knows, she could be a really good step up for this show, and it seems like Season 7 is really shaking things up, so hopefully that'll be a good move when it comes to Beth Schwartz as the new showrunner. They also were talking about the crossover, like Diggle was saying he kind of knows the entire story of the crossover, and he kind of knows what's going on, and he says we might potentially see evil versions of their characters. Like, I think he was specifically talking about an evil Diggle. Now, I don't know what that means, I don't know what that's going to play into, because I don't know if they're going to be dealing with alternate universes in this crossover like they did last time. I don't quite know, because obviously we know that we know we're going to Gotham, and we know we're going to meet Batwoman, but I don't know if that's on an alternate Earth. It could be. If that's the case, then maybe we could see an evil Diggle and evil versions of the characters again, like we got on Crisis on Earth X, but he didn't really obviously go into that too much detail. And also, David Ramsey was talking about how much he'd love to see Batman show up. Now, this wasn't really a thing. I think he was more just talking about as a fan who'd like to see Batman show up. But that was really cool, just to see that the fans and also the cast are excited about the Bat family being introduced into the Arrowverse. Now, I also did some meetups with other big DC TV YouTubers. Like, I met up with my good friend Dan McCants, aka Mule Kick Media. We kind of stuck together the entire day. That was really awesome to meet up with him and actually just spend the day with him, considering how I've known the guy for about 4 years, but I've never actually met him in real life, so that was actually quite nice to finally meet him in the flesh, and it was awesome to hang out with him for the day. And we also met up with Ben, the DC TV show. We did a quick little live stream. I'd like to apologise for that live stream. It was really poorly done. We were kind of just trying to find a place where we could do it that was good, and then we decided to go outside, and the wind was just horrific, so you can't really hear a lot of it, so we do apologize for that. It was kind of just an off-the-cuff kind of thing, so yeah, that's why it's very rough around the edges. And also, there was a good friend of Ben's there as well, who was a really awesome guy. Tom, he was awesome, and it was just really cool to meet up with some of you guys and just kind of see you, you know, see some of you, and also seeing the fandom overall was amazing. I was kind of completely in my element at this show, and it was really nice to see that, and see people who, you know, I just enjoy being around and I could just talk to about these things. It was really nice to have that kind of experience, and just meeting up all these people was such a nice thing to do and spend the weekend doing. Now, let's be honest, the reason we all go to Heroes and Villains is to meet the stars of the shows, and that was very much true. I met so many. I think I met about 9 overall, but that was really cool. So I'm just going to sort of run through them all. So firstly, I had my photo op with David Ramsey, who was just such a sound guy, as David Ramsey portrays himself to be. He's just this really cool guy, really funny. I then had my photo up with Josh Segarra, who is honestly so nice. Josh Segarra is so good with his fans. Like, later on in the day, when he was at his booth and he was signing things, he was actually hugging every single person who came up. Like, he was so good with his fans, and he's so appreciative of, you know, the love that we have for Adrian Chase and for Prometheus, and he could really just like feel that, and he was really awesome. I also then went up and spoke to Franz Drammer, who of course plays Jax Jefferson. He was really awesome. Like, I spoke to Franz Drammer for like 5 minutes. I was talking to him about, you know, him coming back on Legends, and I was talking to him about his experiences doing the finale, and also my theory about the fire totem, which I was very surprised I got wrong. And he really liked that theory, so it was really cool kind of just to see him, you know, take my theory and actually accept it, and thought, yeah, that would have been a really awesome idea if they would have done that. But Franz Drammer was really cool, and just being able to speak to him, because that's one thing about all these actors being here, is that it's not like you just go up and you don't speak. Like, you actually get to talk to them and not just meet them, but have a conversation with them, and it's really personal in that sense, and that's what makes this like anything else. And I really loved just talking to them, and Franz Drammer was one of the ones I spoke to the most. Like, he was just so sound. I also then met Brandon Routh, who was right next to him. Brandon Routh, such a nice guy. You know, he's very much similar to Ray Palmer in real life. He's very much just this really nice, friendly guy with a big heart, and he was really awesome to meet up with there. I then got my photo op with Danielle Panabaker, which Danielle Panabaker's was very quick. Like, the photographer was awful for that one because she was just so rushing it, like getting people to get through. So I barely got a chance to even say hello to Danielle, but she was really nice. And, you know, I saw her sort of later on just hanging around, and it was really nice to see her. And I really just love Danielle Panabaker, so it was nice to meet her. I also then met, you know, my ultimate dream here. This was like a dream come true. I then met Stephen Amell, which was incredible. He is so nice. He's just the nicest man in the world. He's so encompassing. He's so loving. He's so dedicated to his fans, and it was really nice to see that. And just being next to him, being physically there, you could just feel this presence of almost like, you know, like a higher presence. And it was just really nice to have, you know, to be stood next to the Green Arrow was absolutely insane. And I can't believe I met him. I also actually met him earlier on in the day, which I just didn't expect. Like, me and Dan, we were looking for his booth because I just wanted to see him in the flesh before I met him. And then I just sort of looked ahead and I saw him walking towards me, and I freaked out. So I actually met him earlier on in the day, but that was really cool. Just to meet Steven, you know, my ultimate hero, was such a dream come true. And that was my final photo op. My final photo op was Stephen Amell, but I still had some time left, so I went around some of the other booths, and I wanted to clean up some of the other characters who I had not met. So I then went and met Hartley Sawyer, who plays Ralph Dibney on The Flash, and he was really nice, just a really cool guy. And just an awesome presence to be around. You could tell he's very much similar to Ralph Dibney in real life. I then met Kirk Acevedo, who is Ricardo Diaz. He is super, super cool. He was, you know, telling me he's really excited to come back to Arrow next season, and how he really enjoys playing the role, which you can see. And he was just super, super cool, and he took the photos for me, which was great. And finally, I met Juliana Harkavy, who plays Dinah Drake, and she was so sweet. Like, she was so, so nice. She actually hugged me, which was amazing. And she was just really nice just to kind of like see her kind of taking in all these fans. Because this was kind of like one of the first ones she's done in a while, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool just to see her here. And she was really appreciative to everyone waiting in her line, because her line was really long, actually. But it was really nice to see Juliana, and the fact that she hugged me is something that will stick with me for a very long time. But meeting all these stars was an absolute dream come true. So did you guys go to Heroes and Villains FanFest 2018? If you did, tell me everything you did there. Tell me all your experiences. I know I met, obviously, like, I met Ben and I met Dan, but, you know, if you guys went to this show, tell me all your thoughts about it, because it was such a good weekend. And I only went on the Saturday, but I know next year I'm definitely going to go both days, because it was such a fun experience. And I kind of feel sad now that it's over, because it's just, you know, I was having such a good time. But I'm so excited to come back next year, because it's going to be such an incredible experience. It's so wonderful. It's so up close and personal, but yet so well organized. And it's a brilliant experience. If you're a fan of these shows, you need to go to Heroes and Villains, because it will be one of the best experiences of your life. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It will help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV, and get them to join the community. And as always, guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And with all that said, guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.